Hello, welcome back to the second edition of ALA, Ask Elle Anonymously. So I am still currently recovering from my surgery. As you can see, the bruise has not left my face. Yeah, so I wanted to address one question today that's been on my mind that I get this every day. Basically, I get this every day. So about my voice, as you can tell from the title, obviously, but this is just about my voice. I guess this is something I haven't really ever addressed, like, actually on its own, in its own video, I guess. First, oh God, that's my mic that I'm not using. So first general question that I get is, can you take estrogen to fix your voice? That's the question I probably get the most. Can't you just take estrogen? Why don't you just take estrogen? Estrogen. Okay, I get it. Yeah, I get it. Okay. So here's the thing about that. I did address this already. It's in my hormone hangover video, which is going to be up. God, why do I never know where these things are? I think it's up here. No, it's up there because it's flipped. But I'll talk about it again because it's been 6 months or 5 months since I did that video. So can I just take estrogen to fix my voice? The answer is, first of all, there's multiple parts to this question. First of all, the moment I stopped taking testosterone, or not the moment, but several weeks after I stopped taking testosterone, my ovaries came out of remission and started functioning again. My ovaries produce estrogen, just like any other woman. Every other woman who has ovaries produces estrogen, I'd say for the most part. And that's how I am. That's how my body is. It works on its own. I don't need to take any other hormones. That's the whole kind of the whole point of detransitioning. I'm not taking anything to aid this process. It's just happening. My body is doing what it does on its own. I get periods. I have estrogen. I don't need any more than I already have. So that's that out of the way. So there you go. So number one question, no. Extra estrogen wouldn't do anything for my voice. First of all, I don't need any extra estrogen. But aside from that, if I did take a birth control pill, for example, which usually has estrogen in it, it might aid the process of me feminizing a little bit faster since it's extra estrogen. It also does, though, shut down my ovaries again. As far as I'm aware of, that's how that works. It kind of pushes aside the body's natural process of regulating hormones and makes its own process. So it would be kind of a similar thing as stopping my body's natural function and having an external hormone introduced. So as far as I know, that wouldn't really be helpful to me, as far as stuff that my body would do on its own naturally. I don't need birth control for any reason right now. I don't mind having a period. I don't have sex with men or at all right now. It's sad. So I don't need birth control. I don't need extra estrogen for any reason. I make enough on my own with my body. That's great. It works. Hey there, Future Elle here. Just wanted to chime in and say that the reason girls' voices drop a little bit during puberty is because of the small amount of testosterone in their bodies. Estrogen has literally no effect on the vocal cords whatsoever, which is why it can't make a deeper voice higher. All right, back to the video. Okay, second question. What about voice surgery? Haven't you heard of voice surgery? Okay, I did learn about the surgery for the voice once I started doing research into it, because realizing that I literally had a bass baritone voice and that I decided to detransition, it led to me doing a lot of research. So I knew all of this, from pretty much day one. I mean, my voice became the biggest thing that I was like, well, this is something I'm gonna have to get over. Not having the same voice that I did, but also trying to figure out how to change it in the way that I want to be able to live as a woman. So from my very, very early detransition, I was doing research on my voice, like on the voice, the things you can do, you know, the changes and everything. First of all, the goal of the surgery is to raise the pitch of the voice. Okay, so the bass pitch. So it makes, basically they want to get you to higher baseline pitch, which is one of the least important factors of what makes a voice sound masculine or feminine. It is a factor, but it's not even what you should be concerned about if you're trying to get your voice changed. So aside from the fact that it only changes pitch, you would have to be doing voice training anyway, along with surgery. So I think they recommend a year before you do surgery, you try and voice train. And if you don't like your results from voice training, you get the surgery. So it's not like it's just you walk into surgery and you walk out with a perfect voice that sounds exactly the way that it would have sounded if I had never gone on hormones. That's not at all how it works. So the second thing is that the results are mixed, and even if you end up with good results immediately after the surgery, you can go back to sounding exactly the way that you sounded before, like as if you'd never had surgery in the first place. It doesn't last. It's not like a permanent fix. As far as I can tell, it's basically like there are I don't know. I haven't done a super hardcore amount of research into like the after results, but as far as I can tell, it's very mixed. It's not a guarantee. And third of all, the risks are you might lose your voice permanently, like altogether, forever. You can have complications with swallowing and all of the stuff that goes on in your vocal cords. Like you use that for everything. Like you're talking, you're yelling, you're singing, you're eating. Like you use these for a lot more than just like, oh, I sound like a boy or a girl. Like it's not just that. It is so complex. I'm not gonna have somebody going into my throat, cutting up all of this very important tissue in here, patching me up and sending me on my way for something that is very expensive, not even close to guaranteed good results, and only changes one part of the voice that isn't even the most important part of what you need to change during voice training. And the fact that I would have to do voice training anyway, what is even the point of going in there if I'm like, you have to sit and do voice training? It's only for people who are really desperate, who can't get good results from voice training, and who need the increase in pitch to help them pass, like for like if they've worked on everything else and they just can't get their pitch up. So that brings us into the next question, which is voice training. Oh my god, like couldn't you just do voice training like trans women do? I've gone through quite a few different thoughts and opinions on this conversation, on this topic of my voice. So, but here's the thing. I did research into voice training. I did research into voice surgeries. I went to several voice training appointments when I was in school last semester at the beginning of the school year, January, February. I was going to voice training. I was learning techniques of how to control my voice, and I would leave feeling good, but I would also end up feeling really bad about myself. And I would think like, it was too early for me in my detransition to start thinking about like changing my voice. I think like I was too fragile, I was too raw, the feelings were too strong. Like I was just sitting there thinking how I did this to myself, and how I have to start putting in the effort to change something that already just came naturally to me. And I just ended up kind of ruining it as a teenager. Stupid, you know. But also, whenever I would work on it, it would feel good because I would sit there and think like, I'm in control of this thing. So I think I've reached the point in being comfortable enough with myself in my detransition to decide to actually try voice training, to commit to trying to change, because the thing I didn't want to do is I didn't want to start changing my voice in videos and never talk about it. I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to just kind of show up and have like a completely fake different voice that everyone would be like, what the hell? I didn't want to do that because I thought that that would be more embarrassing for me than just talking like this forever. But I've decided, I think, really, what will make me the happiest for the rest of my life, what will make me the most comfortable and confident with myself, what will make me feel better about navigating through the world and living life normally aside from my detransition without having to harp on it all the time is going to be changing my voice. That's what's going to make me feel the most comfortable with myself moving forward as a woman, because this is something I can control if I put in effort into it, if I put in work. I think as far as like the gender stuff goes, this is the one thing that I should be focused on in a detransitioning like perspective. Like, okay, like my appearance can be whatever, but if my voice always sounds like this, I think I'm always going to be insecure about it. I don't think that there's a future where I could one day just be, I'm completely comfortable with my voice and letting it do whatever it does on its own. I honestly think for me that the only way forward is going to be trying to do voice training. And this isn't going to be the case for everyone. This probably isn't even going to be the case for most detransitioners. But for me, I think what's going to make me feel best is going forward with trying to voice train and just trying to get to a point where I feel comfortable. And putting myself out there and sharing this is like really hard because I've been trying to force myself to get comfortable with my voice the way it is, because I didn't want to change another thing about me. I didn't want to start going down another path of like, oh, I have like a list of stuff that I want to change about myself. But I really don't think that this is that. I really think that this is more of just me wanting to kind of just get back into a normal life. And I feel like if I didn't do anything about it, it would still continue to consume me for way longer than it has to. And knowing that I could do something about it, it just makes it seem like a choice for me to continue feeling bad about myself for it. It's going to be good for my self-confidence. It's going to be good for me when I go out and meet new people. Just knowing this isn't something I'm going to have to explain. This isn't something I'm going to have to think about or talk about. It's not something that's going to define me forever. Like, it doesn't have to. And so that's the main reason why I think I've decided I'm going to do that. I know I shouldn't have to do this to feel good and to feel confident and stuff. But I think it will just increase my personal confidence and my happiness like more than just doing nothing. I don't like getting comments about it all the time is the thing. I appreciate all the support and all the well-meaning people who want to help me. But anything that you tell me, I already know. And if you think that I don't, you can DM me like on Twitter or Instagram or whatever. If you really think that you have something new to me information-wise, but chances are you don't. Chances are I've probably seen the exact link that you're going to send me, and I've already looked at it and I've already thought about it. And so, I appreciate it. It's nice, but I don't need it. And I'm not going to try and like justify it. Like, I honestly I want to do it for me. and see what happens. It's just something that I wanted to share with you guys because I don't want it to just be like a thing I don't talk about ever. So there it is. So yeah, that's it. Those are the questions I get about my voice most often. If you have any more questions for me, leave them down below and I'll answer them next week or sometime in the future when I keep making these. Yeah, thank you very much to all of my patrons, all up here, along here. You're great, awesome people. Thank you very much for the support. I appreciate it greatly. Leave a like on this video if you liked it, if you want to see more of the ALAs. Probably gonna post another video on Wednesday if my mouth is doing okay. This video wasn't as bad as the last one, so I'm healing, I guess, hopefully. So yeah, it's good. Yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.